So if you're watching this, you are watching the very exclusive segment on the Pinwist challenge, and I saved the best for you. So this is a gnome, and who says gnomes need to be just for Christmas? This is a love gnome. Now Pinwist this month was all about the love, and we are doing a little gnome giving you a little piece of his heart. So the first thing we want to do is put a nude background. You can do any background to be fair, but all I've done is I've put 2 coats of gel polish and a matte top coat. I'm using Be Creative acrylic paints, and we're just doing an upside down Christmas tree, if you like, in white. But no more references to Christmas because this isn't a Christmas now. So what we want to do is create his beard, and his beard is the focal point. Please let this dry. And to be fair, what I would do is do 2 coats. That would be the best option. So then grab some Be Creative acrylic paint in red to do his hat. Now what you're going to do is do a gnome hat, and we're going to paint that as a solid red, but we're going to add in a little bit of shadow. Now what I would recommend you do this in whilst it's still wet. So don't wait for this to dry. It's a lot easier to blend in. Grab your black and add a tiny bit of black and just add it to the creases. So I've sped up this footage, and obviously press pause and play to stop it and do the work, because working this fast nobody can do. So once his hat is done, you can leave that to dry. We are going to add his feet. So we're just going to add 2 little red dots right at the bottom. Now don't panic if you go over the white beard, because we can go back over that when these red feet are done. But just make sure you sort of have an idea that the legs are coming down and he's got his little red feet. I tried to do this without feet, but it did look really weird. So definitely do the feet. Now for the heart, and again we're still using that red paint. Now there's loads of ways to do hearts, but this is probably the easiest. 2 dots, and then just bring those dots down to a point. So you're making a V underneath the dots, and then you can join them together, and it's that simple, and it makes it really easy to get a nice even heart. Now you are going to have to leave this to dry, and I'm not going to make you watch the drying time. It's like watching paint dry. But what we're going to do is speed it through so that now my paint is dry. We can add the nose. I've got skin from the Be Creative paint collection. That's going to be the big nose, and that's it, just a circle. You are going to have to practice those hearts just by adding tiny little white hearts on his hat, because otherwise he does look like a Christmas gnome. So you really are going to have to do the hearts. Now I'm doing this with a brush, but you can also use the dotting tool, literally just 3 dots together, and then just add a brush detail just to bring those dots. I would do them randomly over the whole hat, but don't do whole hearts. Do half hearts as well, just so it looks like it's in the creases, or that it's part on the side of the hat too. But really, I would definitely add hearts or stripes or some kind of pattern just to show that this is a love gnome. Is there such a thing? What you could do is have different hat sizes, different gnome sizes over a range of nails, which always looks good on social media. But of course your client's going to love it too. But don't forget to charge for nail art. Now, if I was in the salon, I'd probably not do this bit because it takes too long. But if you want to practice your fine line skills, then you can get handy with a black. And we're just going to outline some areas of this gnome. Now, I wouldn't outline all of it, but I would definitely just sort of accentuate the outline of the hat and the creases. When you outline, you run the risk of making a mistake, and if you want to prevent that, what I would do is just go over the top of the whole nail with matte top coat, and that way you can wipe off any mistakes if you have any. You could go to town with this, it's entirely up to you, but I wouldn't overdo this because otherwise it just looks too heavy with the black. Now that my white and red is dry, I can just go back over the top and get that beard looking like it should and hanging over those feet. And then what we need to do is we need to add some little hands. Now we need to add the little hands holding the heart. We're going to do this in the skin color, and it's just a dot and a thumb, and again on the other side too. Now this heart is actually going to be elevated. We're going to actually have a 3D heart. We're going to play around with some matte and some gloss elements, but again, this is just optional. And if I was in the salon, I probably wouldn't bother. I would just have a matte top coat, but it is really fun to do. Pop that underneath the lamp, and then I'm using Builder in a Bottle from Orly to create the cushioned heart. So just add a tiny little bead, and this stuff just stays until you move it where you need it to be. You want to put it over the whole heart, include those paws as well, or the hands as well. And the reason why is because we're going to come back over the top of those, and they're going to be 3D too, but obviously we're using gel, not acrylic. Adding a tiny drop more on top of that white gel, it just gives it a height, but you won't get that lump because it'll just self-level under the lamp. So now we're done with our builder gel. We're just going to add a little bit more around the nose. We've got double height here. We've just added the gel, and I'm going to add it again so that it's a bit wider. This is done on purpose, but what it does is it looks like there's like I don't know, it just gives it an additional 3D element. Once that's done, what we're going to do is go over the top of those little gloves or hands, or whatever you call gnome hands, with Lavella. Now Lavella is the base gel that we used over the whole nail, and obviously, did you catch the name? Lavella. We're going to just go over the top of those hands with that gel, and then we're going to go back over the top of them again with a matte top coat. So we are playing around with our mattes and our glosses just because we can, but you don't have to. I mean, seriously, it looked great beforehand as well. But I think sometimes this little added extra just gives you that je ne sais quoi, as they say. So matte top coat, this is Matte and Go from Mystic Nails, and this is amazing. One, because it produces a really nice matte, and the matte itself isn't too cloudy, so it doesn't get rid of any of the detail work that you put on your nail art. I think if you're using a matte top coat and the matte top coat is cloudy, you actually lose some of the definition. This No Cleanse top coat is from Orly. This is brand new, like super brand new. And No Cleanse top coat means that we don't have to go over with a cleanser. It means that we don't have to waste any additional products, and we reduce any contact to the natural skin and nails by adding that cleanser. So No Cleanse top coat is brilliant. So once this is done, we're ready to rock and roll. That is the gnome finished. If you haven't seen my Pinwist challenge or Mel's Pinwist challenge on YouTube, and don't forget to tag us if you give this little love gnome a go.